So there ain't no safe space when you get in the real world, man. While they fund these wars, and that money could be spent on our own country, it's just getting out of control.
What's up, guys? Today I have my dad here. We're going to be responding to the violent pro-Palestine protests that happened near Tulane University.
All
Yet
right.
another shocking video shining a light on the disturbing rise of anti-Semitism on college campuses. Take a look at this demonstration near Tulane University in New Orleans, turning violent after a masked pro-Palestinian protester tries to burn an Israeli flag. Joining us now is the man who filmed that video, Tulane student Ryan Zamos. Ryan, thanks for being with us this morning.
Mask on our face.
I take it you were there that day. Tell us what's going on in Tulane. What's happening there?
Yeah, it was terrifying. Tulane University allowed for a pro-Palestinian protest to occur, and they did not take the preventative measures that were necessary, such as shutting down the street. So the car, as you see on the screen, drove by 4 times previously, and it was on the 5th time that they attempted to burn the flag before students attempted to grab the flag, before, as you see, pro-Palestinian protesters come in and assault numerous students.
So are these, tell me who I'm looking at on the screen. Like when I see this, you know, whatever college campus I'm looking at, in this case, Tulane, I also understand these weren't necessarily students from Tulane. So like who is involved in all of these incidences?
Correct. So nearby universities such as Loyola New Orleans is organizing these protests under the name Tulane for Palestine, because Tulane is a 44% Jewish population of students. So it seems like they're specifically targeting such a university to, promote hate.
I didn't know there's that many Jews at that one.
Antagonize
44%.
Jewish students and to frankly scare us and make it so that we're afraid to go to class, and it's deeply concerning.
Tulane, by the way, put out this statement, said 3 Tulane students were assaulted at a rally intentionally staged on a public sidewalk along Ferret Street, over which we do not have control. This rally was not approved or sanctioned by Tulane. We condemn and are outraged by today's violence and the hateful language and the rhetoric we heard. It's counter to everything we stand for at Tulane. Ryan, what about that
university police?
Hateful language?
They can go off campus for a distance.
Protests, these
at a mile, 2 miles sometimes.
Protests take place. I think something that always people wonder is like, distinguish you're for Palestine, you're anti-Jewish. Like what are you hearing? What are you seeing involved in these rallies and parades?
Yeah, I think it's as simple as Tulane has to take a firm stance against hate rather than remaining neutral. We've seen other universities leaders, such as the UF president, speaking out and calling out facts. And there's simply no tiptoeing around the fact that what Hamas did is evil, and there's no defense for terrorism. So these protests, they're not pro-Palestinian, they're anti-Jewish and anti-Israel.
And do you hear that or see that, Ryan, at the protests?
Correct. There's plenty of anti-Semitism slurs shouted at students. The signage that's used is directly targeting Jewish students for the removal of all Jews from basically worldwide and primarily Israel. It's just deeply concerning that there's a lack of accountability in handling Jewish students' concerns about their safety, as evidence from whether it be unresponsive emails when students face threats, or emails following protests such as this that are just kind of covering their liability moving forward.
Ryan, you just said, I didn't realize, by the way, that Tulane is 44% Jewish. So you have that community. Are you surprised? I've seen the polling. Young people much more supportive of Palestinians than you might, definitely than older generations. So Gen Z more so than millennials more so than Gen X, and on and on and on. Does that surprise you for your age demographic?
Yeah, it's terrifying, frankly, and it's deeply concerning that Tulane University is allowing pro-Palestinian students to issue these mutual non-contact orders. I think this is kind of a global trend that's being used from as low as the middle school level. I know I'm from Los Angeles, so in Manhattan Beach, students are being issued these summons where they're basically just issuing these non-contact orders to silence and harass Jewish students to prevent open dialogue. And, it's clear whose side that they're on and who they're willing to protect. And I think it's a matter of what Hamas did is evil and there's no defense. And we must protect Jewish students so that they feel safe to go to school and go to class and feel like the university has their back. Many of these non-contact orders that have been issued have been between students who have never spoken to each other, who've never had any form of communication. And so it's scary to go to class and know that these students are present everywhere in classrooms with us.
No safe space for them at their university. Most universities got these safe spaces. You know what I'm saying? Inclusion centers. There's a couple
Well, I don't
different.
agree with any of
There's a
that
couple
stuff.
different. There's a couple different ones. Oh no, they're little safe spaces for kids when they're going to school and they feel a little upset. They can run in there and have somebody to talk to. Then wait till they get in the real world and there's no safe spaces at the jobs. Safe space. The only safe space you guys when you go behind and take a crap and you lock the door behind you. That's your safe space. The bathroom. Yeah, oh my gosh.
Bathroom.
The only safe space out there when you get out in the real world, the only safe space you have is when you go in the bathroom, you shut the door behind you and you go to the restroom.
No, you're
Shoot,
not safe in
sometimes
there.
say I know seriously, because sometimes you're just in a stall and you got food right next to you. So there ain't no safe space when you get out in the real world, man. These nowadays these kids are just don't get it. And they have
that guy was always talking about terrifying and stuff, but in America, it's not that bad.
well
There's people getting bombed, and he's talking about, oh, it's terrifying.
true, but it's just having that on you, that on your head the 24/7, having to look around behind your back. You know,
Everyone has to do that, though.
yeah, but still they shouldn't have.
It's not like it's just one group of person. I'm just saying,
Right now,
America is a dangerous place. It's not just
basically they're basically putting the eyes on the Jewish community and taking the eyes off the border as we're being invaded by another country. We have thousands of people coming at us right now, and they make
bad.
all this other stuff about Palestine, Israel. Nobody's thinking about we're about ready to have another 500 people in every city in the United States.
Yeah, no one's really worried about America right now, which we should be.
I mean, this is we're getting to a point right now where we're spending all. I mean, can you imagine all the money we spent in Ukraine, all the money we spent in Afghanistan? We walked around with all the $80 billion and stuff. That do you know what that could have done for our kids? Do you know all that money the government is just giving to all these countries instead of giving to our kids, education, building up their foundation so when they get up and older, no, they're taking the money and making our kids be in debt their whole lives and our grandkids in debt their whole lives while they fund these wars. And that money could be spent on our own country, building us up to our own oasis, man. Parks, beautiful classrooms, beautiful airports, beautiful playgrounds, safe areas in town where you can go shopping and don't have to worry about getting your stuff broke into or smash and grabs. It's just getting out of control. Getting pretty out of control.
Yeah,